Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Eric Rosen here for your daily horoscope for July 29th. This is a Wednesday in 2020. What a crazy year it's been. Let's get into your daily astrology for today. We've got a moon that just came into Sagittarius. That's a fire sign. We've got a lot of fire stuff going on right now. We've got a sun in Leo. We've got Mars and Chiron in Aries. But let's talk about this moon. The moon today, although it's only going to make friendly aspects, which means that we can feel good emotionally, we do kind of got to be a little bit careful because the moon is in the sign where the south node is at. And so anytime a south node is in a sign, it can kind of bring up a little bit of an illusion energy to that zodiac sign. And so Sagittarius is one that deals with optimism and having a lot of options. And so when a moon comes here, it's activating that energy of feeling like we've got a ton of options. It's the optimism, it's the hope of tomorrow. But with the North Node in Gemini, it really is more about what are the options that you have right in front of you? What can you choose from now? But that moon is going to start off the day making friendly aspects to the sun in Leo. And so I think this is really good, for us, finding a little bit of positivity for sure. Finding some positivity in our passion, maybe a little bit of play energy that I'll talk about today. But it's also going to be making aspects over to Chiron and Aries. And so this is where that delusion element especially comes up, where it can be the over-optimism of trying on a new ego identity, of making a change to one's personality, the way one dresses, or even just maybe trying to hang out with a different group of people, especially with the Uranus and Taurus. It's like there's a lot about trying to find tribe right now. But it's being careful. It's saying, use this moon to heal instead. It's like use it for the hope and optimism of getting to the bottom of things, especially with Mars there in Aries, of digging down to the bottom of it and seeing what's there. We just had a moon in Scorpio, so we were digging deep before, but this is more, it's not quite so intense. Maybe not so much fear comes up. It's the hope of, healing, of feeling better, of finding more positivity in just such unpredictable times. But, there is a lot of mental energy that is getting activated on this day, especially because Mercury is a little stressed out right now. It's kind of like, man, I came out of my shadow period. I'm trying to move forward and find out how to feel better. And now I've got to deal with Jupiter and Capricorn, and I've got to deal with Mars and Aries, and these challenging aspects. And so I think that this is, number one, it is challenging our mental health. And so it's not about trying to, dig down and find ways to feel better, I guess, at the bottom of the barrel, you could say. It's almost like instead of climbing our way up to the top and climbing our way up to Mount Olympus, Jupiter is Zeus in Greek mythology. It's kind of about, finding that one path to move forward, to feel better, to, keep moving ahead, and to find a place that we're feeling better just by knowing that we're making progress, that we're on our road, as opposed to trying to just find cheap, easy ways to feel our best. It's giving the mind dopamine hits. We all kind of have those go-tos of whatever that is for us. And I think that the ultimate, plan that Zeus, that Jupiter has here for us today is, what I would say is probably security and healing, with that Chiron and Mars in Aries, and so it's like Mars in Aries knows that pretty soon it's going to be dealing with some very unfriendly stuff in Capricorn. And so there is a sense of like needing to honor our security, of what we need to feel safe. And it's going to be based on Uranus and Taurus, of what are your personal values on how you feel safe. But, there's still got to be a healing element to this with that Chiron in Aries. And so like this is, this whole week, the whole theme really is what I would say is deep healing. It is shadow work. But we can find a little bit of a reprieve, I think, too. I think the overall plan is doing the deep healing. It is finding a sense of imagination with Jupiter continuing to make friendly aspects over to Neptune, and also Neptune over to this Mercury. And so, we don't want to get lost in the delusion of the things that we have to take care of, but at the same time we can find imagination and play throughout our day, especially because, you know, this is kind of a minor aspect, but Venus is in Gemini is being challenged by the Sun in Leo. But I think if we're willing to kind of step out of our own, maybe number one, delusions of thinking everything's going to be okay, but still putting in the work of our security, of feeling better, of doing the healing, but then also finding time to play, finding time for some type of physical breakaway activity. We might not feel like it because, you know, maybe we're doubling down on our typical, you know, ways of just kind of daydreaming, or even just if you're going the other way and trying to work really hard for a sense of security, but forgetting to have fun. I mean, this is a Sun in Leo, and so this is kind of a little bit of a last pit stop. I think to still find these little pockets, these little windows throughout our day to have fun. And it's not saying that you can't ever have fun as we continue to move forward in the astrology. It's just that you know, other things are probably going to take precedence when we get there. So that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. I think, you know, just continuing to maintain hope, continuing to stay positive, but also in a sense that isn't delusional. And I think taking care of mental health, you know, because mental health is a big deal right now, really comes down to, you know, there are things that are happening in our personal lives, reflected going on in the world, but we really need to pay attention to the personal lives and not get so distracted by what's going on out there, as these fears are triggers. You know, it's showing us what needs to be healed. And so if you're wondering what I've been saying these past couple of horoscopes about what to heal, it's notice the times where you're getting frustrated, where you're getting upset, especially with Mars and Chiron in Aries, or, you know, even just feeling sad or falling back into an old pattern. Like, these are the areas to heal. These are the areas to ask more questions about with the North Node in Gemini. I love you all. I hope you guys are staying well out there, and especially mentally. I mean, people will tell you what to do with the mask and social distancing and that. I'm just going to suggest, you know, taking care of the mental health by doing the deep healing. Bring some of that heartfelt compassion to whatever old stories are coming up that are causing these fears and phobias with the South Node and Sag, and we'll be okay. You guys take care.